RFC. RFC means remote function call. Means RFC is a mechanism. It kind of some internal mechanism that allows business applications to communicate each other. And also using this RFC connection, RFC mechanism, so it will exchange the information. It will exchange the information with the other system, right? Remote function call. So the main is for so internal communication between two systems, the communication between you and me, and communication between two phones, right? So here, this will be RFC communication. The bridge will be used here, right? So here, the RFC, why? Because in the general, the business functionality, in the general business functionality here, so what happens? This is the ECC system. This is the BW system. This is the CRM system. This is the SCM system. We have the multiple systems are there in the systems here, right? Multiple systems are there here. So multiple systems are there here. So this is, suppose take example, this is the ECC, right? And also this is the BW. So this is the SCM, supply chain management. So this is the CRM system here. So sometimes what will happen? So the BW system is required the data from the ECC, right? And also the ECC is required the data from the BW system also here, right? Vice versa, we require the data. So also we require the SCM2. So this is also we require the ECC also. So require the data from the SCM system, right? And also CRM also require the data from the ECC system, right? So, and also ECC also require the data from the CRM system, right? So each system, they will internally together, it will communicate via RFC, via RFC. So the data communication will pass, means data exchange will happen via RFC destination here. Data exchange will happen via RFC destination here. Data exchange will happens, right? So here SAP uses the CPIC communication. CPIC communication will use, means CPIC protocol will use to communication between two systems, either SAP to SAP, SAP to non-SAP, CPIC communication. So normally this is the internal mechanism, CPIC, CPIC. CPIC means so common programming interface for communication. Common programming interface for communication here, CPIC protocol to transfer the data between system. It's a SAP specific protocol, right? SAP specific protocol here. So this will be used. This will be used. So here for the communicating between the systems via this communication data, means via pipe, how the water will come from the tank to your tank to a bucket via communication. How the, so here same way via RFC destination, the data transfer will happen, right? Between the one specific format to another specific format or understandable format. So into understandable format by the data system. So RFC communication will happen here. So they are the four types of communications are there here. Four types of RFC communication types here. One is the synchronous. One is the synchronous. Synchronous here. Such RO, right? Such RONOUS. Synchronous communication here. Synchronous here, right? The second one is the asynchronous. The third one is called the third one is called the so the transactional. Third one is called the so transactional here. The fourth one is called the fourth one is called the queued RFC. Queued, right? So queued RFC here. Queued RFC, it will use it here. There are the four types of communications. Communication types are there here. So what does it mean here? What does it mean by synchronous? Synchronous means both the systems should be available. Means when you are transferring the data from the ECC to BW, it requires both the systems should to be available at the time of communication or the time of data transfer. What target also should be available. It is the most common type and it is required when the time of, so immediately you require the communication, it's required, means both the systems are should be required here. Why? Because here once it's order wise sequence wise it will process the data to the here. Once the data is transferred, the first data is transferred to the here via RFC destination to the BW system. BW sender system will send the acknowledgement to back to the your ECC system saying that I have received your first transaction, send me the second transaction, then it will send you the second transaction, which means in this way the both the systems are in the sync and consistency status. Sync and consistency status here. ECC and BW are the sync and consistency status here. Both the systems are sync and the consistency status. So in this way, both the communication will happen. So via synchronously. Synchronously means the ECC will send the back to same means in the old days, in our old days, we had the not the smart mobile. When we go for the normal mobiles, when you send your text message to the your friend, right? One of your common, if you send the text message to your friend in your phone, you will get the one option, message has been delivered. Like that, you will get the one acknowledgement, right? Did anyone observed here? Right? In the old phones, like if you enable that option, not the smartphones, I don't think in the smartphone we have the option. In the old phones, we have the option. Nowadays, we all are using this, so WhatsApp and everything. So, but in the old mobile phones, not the smartphones, when you send the text message, you will get the written message saying that delivered, something like that. You will get the delivered message, means acknowledgement you are getting, right? So that is called the synchronous communication, right? You got it, right? Any confusion here regarding the synchronous? Is it clear, right? When you send the message to your friend, your friend phone says message has been delivered, you will get the written message, written gift. Okay. So that is called the written message. You will get like message has been delivered, something like that. You will get the one acknowledgement, right? That is called the synchronous. In this way, okay, the first message went, second message went, third message went. So you means all the messages are delivering to the your friend, right? So that is the synchronously. But when it goes to the asynchronous message, when go to the asynchronous message here, asynchronous message means where the acknowledgement is not required. It's like a postcard delivery. It's kind of postcard here. So both the communication between the systems where acknowledgements are not required here. It's similar to the postcard delivery. It does not require both the system to be available at the time of execution. So immediately, why? Because acknowledgement is not required. So which means both the systems should not be available at the same time here. So source system resources does not wait target system deliver the message and it will send the another message. No, it won't. It keep on sending the data to the BW system, one more target system. Whether target is received or not, it won't bother. Why? Because it won't check the consistency and any acknowledgement, it won't check it out here. So it's not the reliable communication since data may be lost. If the target is not available, data may be lost here, right? But because source does not bother, my target, my subordinate will receive the transaction or data or not, it will not bother, right? So that's the reason in the asynchronous communication, so both the target system should not be available, should not be there also, systems will send the data. It's like a postcard. You are sending the postcard to your friend, then so you are not sure whether your friend received or not, you are not sure, right? So that is the one here, right? So that is the one here, that is a postcard. So synchronous means it's a reliable communication. Why? Because here the both the systems should say like you have received the transaction and something like that. You should get the all the acknowledgement and everything, you will get it out from the system, right? So that is the one thing here. That is the one thing you will get from the systems here, right? That is called the synchronous and asynchronous transaction, right? So transactional RFC. Transactions means it is a special form. Like when you are sending the when you are sending the data to to target, in the source, one transaction ID will be generated. In the source, its corresponding data in the SAP database, a transaction ID will be generated so that so that so there is no duplicates. So here the transactional RFCs and everything we can see it in the SM58. In the SM58, we can see the all the transactional RFCs related data and everything. We can see it here. All those things we can see it here, right? So that is the transactional RFC. Transactional RFC means so system, right? So transactional RFC means here. So suppose, so let me log in. Okay, so in SM58, we can see the transactional RFCs. If there are any failed transactional RFCs in SM58, we can see it here, transactional RFC, right? As part of the day-to-day daily monitoring activity. This is the one of the daily monitoring activity, right? This is one of the daily monitoring activity here. Here we can see it here. Are there any transactions are failed or not? Here we can check it out. Are there any failed transactions or not? We can check it out here, right? So every time it will generate the one transaction ID. Each and everything, it will generate the one transaction ID. It will generate the one transaction ID here. It will generate the one transaction ID. So that what is the transaction code, what is the transaction got failed, what is the error message, and what is the ID. So this ID is the unique key for the different one. In this way, when it is sending to the target system, what is the target system here? Why? Because via destinations it will flow. This is the destination, right? This is the target system. Via this destination, data transferring is happening. Data transferring is happening here. Via password issue, the data is not flowing via this RFC destination. Data flow is not happening via this RFC destination here, right? So because of this reason, we have, so data got stuck in the SAP system here. So target, it is going to the target system via RFC destination. But in the destination, the user ID password is wrong. So that is the reason your data got stuck in the SAP system itself. But here, but every time there is a transaction ID will be generated. Transaction ID is generated here each time. In this transaction ID, so you have the unique transaction ID, right? So that there is no duplicate of the data here. Where the target already received this transaction and this transaction will not move it, will not go away, will not go to target. Why? Because it's a duplicate transaction. So in the source itself, the transaction gets stuck. So that is called the transactional RFC. Means data will go to the target system via transactional. Data will go to the target system. Data will go to the target system via transactional. That transactional ID. Transactional RFC means it kind of asynchronous RFC only. But when you're transferring the data to the target, so it will due to some network issues or data issues. So if the remote system also not available at the same time when the program is executing, so then it will generate the one transaction ID. So then the transaction ID will get stuck here. As soon as the target is available, same data will send to the respect to target system. But ID is common, right? There is no duplicate of the data. The sequence wise, So data will go to, so data will go to the target system. It kind of registered post. Normally, asynchronous RFC is the normal postcard. This is the registered post. Registered post. Similar to the registered post here. If the system is not available, it will write the data into the RFC tables, transaction ID. Then as soon as target is available, it will send the data to the target system here. That is called the transaction ID SM58. We can find out the all the information here in SM58. We can find out the information here in the systems. In SM58 we can transfer, we can find out the information here, right? So here also we have the some data, I think here. These all are the main systems here. This is the main production systems and all those things here. So let's see here, go to the SM58. So let's see, are there any failures? Why? Because it's a live system. The live business systems means, so we have some data. Definitely the transactions will get stuck by users. So let me, so as part of the day-to-day activity, we need to check that in the last 24 hours, are there any transactions got stuck in our SAP systems or not? We need to check it out. We need to check it out, that one here, right? We need to check that buttons. Now, let's see here. So it is pulling the data. Why? Because I given the end-to-end data. See here, how many transactions got stuck here. Who is the user? What is the target systems? And what is the transactions? And what is the transaction ID? And we have the all the data got stuck in our SAP systems. IDA, RFC, all the data got stuck in the SAP systems here. All the data got stuck in the SAP systems here. See. Yeah, the program error, syntax error, RFC error, communications. Every time there is a transactional ID is normally we have to reprocess. There is a process to the pre-process, execute LUWs. We can execute it all the LUWs here. But thing is, so it will be failed if it will be failed here. Why? Because the target destinations are not available, it will be failed here. It will be failed, invalid data. The data is invalid here. So that is the reason here. Invalid date. Remove the date range. So that's why it's saying that invalid date here. Okay. So which means, so we can 2014 data, 2018 data also available in the system, right? So 2014, 18 data also available, 2012 data also available in the system, right? 2000 DT, some target systems, so mobile engines related data. So the data got stuck in the SAP due to issues here. So those things we need to find out. We need to fix it out, the issues here. All the issues we need to fix it out here, right? So that is the transactional RFC. For every transaction, when you are sending from my side to you, it will create a, so it will create a one transaction ID. So even though you are not available, it will create the transaction ID. As soon as you are available, then it will send the request to you. Data will be transferred to you. So until then, data will stuck in the in this transaction code that is called the SM58 itself only. It will stuck the all the data. SM58 only. It will stuck the all the data. Okay, that is called the transactional RFC. Okay, it is called the transactional RFC in the system. The next one is called the queued RFC. Next one is called the queued RFC here. The next one is called the queued RFC here. Queued RFC means queues. Okay. So the next one is called the queued RFC. Queued. So these two, we don't have any transaction ports. Why? Because it's an internal mechanisms to transfer the data. But transactional RFCs, we have the transaction code is called the SM58. So we can see the transactions data and everything. Queued RFC. Queued RFC means via queues. Via queues. Queue means order. Via queues means order. Via queue, the data sequence wise, the data steps will process in a sequence wise. Sequence wise, order wise. Queue means sequence wise, right? Queue means the first in, first out, second in, second out, like that. First in, first out, right? queues order wise, the data transfer will happen to the target system. So this will guarantee that all the data is processing to the target system in order wise. By application is processing in order wise, it is processing to the target system here, right? The queues wise, it will transfer it here. Queues means they are the two types of queues are there in SAP system here, right? Every SAP system, there are the two types of queues. One is the inbound queue. Inbound queue. The second one is the outbound. So outbound queue, inbound queue and outbound queue here. Inbound queue, right? And outbound queue. There are the two types of queues here. Queue wise, queue means order. Like when you are going to onboard the bus, then you will get the, so queue wise you have to, so queue wise properly in a sequence wise, order wise, so we have to follow, right? So means order wise, first in first out, the transaction will go to the transaction, the unit of work will go to the respective target system here, respective target system here. Otherwise it will go to the respective target system here. Inbound outbound queues will go to the respective target system here, right? The sequence wise it will process the all the transactions as per predefined order. It will process the all the sequence wise, the orders, the transactions will go to the respective system here. Queues sequence wise, which means where we have to define the predefined sequence here, not the functional team. They will create the queues in SMQ or SMQs, which means if you go to the SMQR, here in the SMQR, we can define the queues here. We can define the queues here. If you go to the SMQR and QS, right? SMQR and SMQS, we can define the queues here, SMQR and SMQs, right? This is the SMQR, which means inbound queues. Inbound queues here, inbound queues here. So it will start it here. These are the queues names here, queue names. So MRP is related. So some other these things are the queues here. Queues wise, the data transfer will happen to the target system here. So who will create the queues? Either functional or we can also create the queues here, right? So like just click on the registration, then the queue name is called the, so XB or AB or CIF star queues, right? Then click on the create button. Then CIF star queues got registered here, right? So then if you want to define the queue name is called the, so AB star queues, right? Then you can define the AB star queues here. Then sequence wise, one process wise, the data transfer will happen by
Hello, sir.
queues. Yes.
What is this type and mode? D.
D,
Mode D.
D means type, R means so registered. The queue is active. D means queue is not active. Means deregistration means queue is not active. So data U means it's not, it will not go. U and R. U means unregistered, R means registered here. The mode D is common. Maybe it's active, I think. Active, I think. This won't change. That will be same. But if you want to register the queues or activate the queues, or if your queues are activated, data transfer will happen. If the queues are unregistered, same as like here, so then data transfer will not happen. So just if you click on the active, then data transfer will happen like this. Data transfer will happen. So
Okay, means two types are there, R and U.
right. R means registered, means activated. Deregistration means U, inactivated. So inactivated means via this queue, data transfer will not happen. In entire your queue, via this pipe, data transfer will not come. In another pipe means another pipe, so data transfer will happen. So via this queue, data transfer will not happen. If you change the status to the U, means unregistered. So during the upgrade activity, so maybe refresh during the upgrade or refresh time, what we will do, During the upgrade time, data will come to the this system, right? That's why what we will do, we will unregister the all the queues here. Means we will inactivate the queues. Why? Because the data transfer will come to your system. So via this queues only, right? So we will inactivate it. It will come to your system via this queues. So that's why we will inactivate this queues here. So if you go to the SMQs, that is the queue out scheduler out, which is going outside of the your system. From outside, it is going to outside means via RFC destination only. So it will connect to the via RFC destinations to the your system, right? So here also you have the R means this RFC destination queue is active. So in means queue out scheduler. Here queue out means which is going outside of the system. So SMQR means queue in scheduler, which is coming inside of the system here. Queue in, which is means which is coming inside of the system here, right? So two differences: queue out scheduler, queue in scheduler here. All the configuration of the inbound queues and outbound queues we have to do it in the SMQR and SMQs here. Sir, where can we monitor configuration? Okay, fine, but via these queues, how many entries, how much data is going and everything? SMQ1. If you go to the SMQ1, here you will get the how many entries are there here, how much data got stuck here, all the information. We will check it out here. So it's out, which is going outside. Suppose like GRC related 352 entries got stuck here. GRC related 352 entries got stuck here, right? Users which is not available. So destination, via this destination, these many data, these are the users, it is going to the target system via this is the target host, that is the destination which is going to the target system, right? This is going to the target system via this destination, but which is not going out because of these many entries got stuck here. So if you go to BW system related one entry got sent, one entry got stuck here, one entry got stuck here, transaction recorded, right? So why? Because this is the user. Why? Because this entry is got stuck. There is no destinations are not working. Because of this reason, data is not going out. So these queues I can see, where can we see configure the queues registration means? So here SMQR, SMQs, the queues configuration, we can see it here, right? SMQs, SMQR, we can configure the GRT01 queues you have configured. Queue you configured. That the registration we can do it here. Inbound queues or outbound queues, registration queues configuration we can do it. But via this queues, data transfer will go. But I want to check how much data transfer is happened or failures. Those things, where can I check means as part of the day-to-day activity, SMQ1, here we can check. So how much data got stuck in your SAP system, right? So total 208 queues, 651 entries got stuck, which means in the production, the data transferring is not happening. Then immediately the functional team will raise a case ticket. Then we need to investigate. So why? Just should open this one. Why? So why means, so we need to check this destination is working or not, right? So then destination is not working, then the system is down. We need to check why user switch is not possible. So then if you inform to the functional, they will correct the data, something like that. They will correct the data here, right? So suppose they asked us to reprocess, just click on the execute the LUW. Then we can reprocess it. The data also we can reprocess it, right? That is, we can perform it here. So if you go to SMQ Q1, sorry, Q2, SMQ2, which is like inbound queues here. Inbound, which is coming to inside of the system. So three entries got failure. Three entries got failure here. Why? Why these three entries got failure? So there is a XB queues, XB star queues. So let's check. This is the inbound queues, right? SMQR. Inbound queues. Is there any XB star queues? Yes, XB star queues are there here. So XB star queues are there here. Then let's try to reprocess here. Select all. The entries got stuck. Okay, these entries are related to the 811 client, 811 client here. So not the this system 811 client, not at the 800 client. We logged into the as a 800 client, 811 client, right? 811 client here. Let's log into the 811 here. SMQ2, right? In molecules. So let's see the how many entries, 3 entries, right? So let's try to, it got failure in 2012 itself, it got failure, right? So let's try to reset the status here. So let's test the value. Reset the status means, so it will process or not. Let's see here. So no, the queue is stopped status. Just try to unlock the queue. XBRQ star, unlock the queue, then activate it. Activate the queue. No found. I think it got processed. Now 2 entries only. Means which got processed. The queues got processed here. It's processing. The entries are being processing here. So reset. Function is not possible. Right? So one is the one got processed. Let's go to here. Activate. Activate the queue. So queue got stopped. That's why. So that guy it got processed here. All right. That's why it got processed. Means data transfer inbound keys which is coming to inside of the system, which means this data got failure here, this data got failure here, right? This data got failing here, this data got failing to the SAP system here, right? So this data got getting failure here. This is system failure, IDOC related data got failure here. Just execute the LUW. So why? Because this user, via this user only we have to execute. So like that, we need to check and fix the issues in the system, check and fix the issues, check and fix the issues in the system here, right? So data transfer related things here, inbound queues, outbound queues via going outside of the system. Then so outside of the system means, so which is coming in, which is coming to ECC, that is called the inbound, which is going outside of the system. So that is called the outbound queues here, inbound. So inbound queues are required, order wise, sequence wise data will come to the your ECC system, which is going outside of the system. This is the outbound, outgoing, incoming. Outgoing means which is going to outside of the system means via RFC destination only it will go. So That's why we have the RFC destinations concept here. Destinations concept here. The queues registrations and everything, we can do it in the, so here SMQR, SMQs. S is for inbound, SMQs is the outbound scheduler, SMQR is for inbound scheduler here, outbound and inbound schedulers here. So those things will happen here in the systems, right? Those things will happen in the systems here, right? So that is the reason the queues are very important. One sequence wise, order wise data, hundreds of lakhs of data, the n number of data will come to the system. But what is the order to follow? Which data comes to the here, which data will go to outside of the system? So via these queues, data transfer will happen. Via these queues, the data transfer will happen to the systems. Okay, so that is the inbound and outbound queues here, right? These are about the RFC types, not the connection type. So connection types are like R3 to R3 connection, HTTP connection, so internal connections, TCP/IP connection. Those are the SM59 we can see. But these are the RFC types, not the RFC connection types. Just RFC types, 4 types here: synchronous, asynchronous. So this is having the one transaction code. This queued RFC, we have the 4 transaction codes here: SMQR, SMQs, and SMQ1 and SMQ2. These are the transaction codes for the queues related things, inbound queues and outbound queues here. Okay. Any questions, anyone? It's clear? Just remember the transaction codes. That's very important. This we have to check day to day. Daily transaction codes means these are the daily transaction codes. But I will tell
Hello,
you
sir.
all. Yes.
If basis team is not resolve this issue, then can we
Functional.
involve functional team
Functional.
also?
Yeah. Why? Yeah. There only we have to involve them only. Why? Because data means responsible team is by functional team only. Data quality, how they are placing the data, which order they want to move the data, they are the responsible. We are the technical team. Means we are only system is slow, system is responding well or not, configuration side. So technical activities we will do. So we any functional activities, data related thing, the functional team will take care of that one. We only, if they ask us to configure, then we will configure the queues. If any queues got stuck as part of the daily activity, then you have to send an email to your respective teams.
Sir, how we come to know, sir, how many queues are stuck in SMQ1 and SMQ2? Each one we need to open and check our.
All one by one, all the queues, number of queues and number of entries will be displayed, right? All the queues we need to check it out.
Okay.
All the queues we have to check it out. So not we have to check means either do you have to take the screen capture, then inform to the respective functional team saying that bus. So as part of our daily monitoring, so as part of the regular daily monitoring in SMQ2, we found like there are some data issues. So please take care. So they will check like, oh, data transferring is not happening. So some issues with this queue, then they will take care of the next action item.
So means of this screen we need to provide the screenshot, right, sir?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Today only. See, just now one queue got failed here. So ready status. Queue is ready status. Queue is ready, but system has to pick up. So system has to be pick up here. So which means the resources are required here. So which means the internal resources like so all these resources are required to process the data.
Sir, that connection test will you be doing? Will you be doing, sir?
Yeah. RFC, if the RFC connection, so outside queues, then via RFC destination, then we need to check whether the RFC connection is working or not. If not working, so then what is the issue? Is the target system is done? Oh, target is down. Because of this reason, all the entries got stuck in the ECC itself. As soon as target is available, data transfer will happen. So sometimes people will panic saying that, so there are a lot of entries got stuck in the here. We are not sure what's happening with this system. So then when we check the RFC connection is not working, then we need to inform to the respect. We need to check and we need to bring SAP that application server to be up, and we need to check all those things.